at the eMetrics Marketing Optimization Summit, San Francisco. I'm Daniel Waisberg. I'm here with Phillip Klien. He's the co-founder of Predicta, which is an online marketing consultancy, and co-founder of BT Buckets, which is a free segmentation and targeting tool. So welcome, Phillip.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for having me.
First, you've been to a few eMetrics shows. So what did you see this time that you found really interesting, or something, I don't know, something special that you saw this show?
This is my fourth eMetrics conference. I've been 3 in San Francisco, 1 in DC in the East Coast. And it's always very enlightening. And actually, it's been about 2 or 3 years since I've been to an eMetrics conference. So catching up with everybody was also very interesting. But I think that the most interesting thing I saw this conference is how data-driven decisions has become mainstream. It's the new black now. We've always talked about analytics and using data, and first people would listen to the data guys, then they'd bring a little bit about the data guys into the decision mix, but now we see companies driving strategy and decisions based on analytics. A perfect example of that was at yesterday's Best Buy speech, which during the recession, I think it was a quarter of the corporate hires were for the analytics division. So I mean, that was showing that's a big company putting their money where their mouth is and really saying that analytics is where the decisions are making. So I think that more and more we see there's always been a lot of data, but now there's actionable data. I think that's the most interesting thing that I've noticed too, and I'm very excited about that.
Okay, so the question, you have both a consultancy and a vendor. So, and you're talking about data, how do you go about optimizing your website? I mean, if you have a new website, what would you do first?
I think that what strikes me in 2011 is that the big majority of the websites today, I mean, when you first get into a website, when you're first interacting to a brand on a website, I'm going to see the same thing from Brazil that you would see from Israel, that somebody else would see from the US, unless you have a country-specific website. And that's very frustrating. I mean, you only have a first impression, one time to give a first impression. And I really feel that, you know, I mean, when average bounce rates are about 50, 40, 60%, and you're not using all the data that the user is giving you to create a more engaging experience, I think that's very frustrating. So I think that if I had to start an optimization strategy on a website, I'd really try to understand the big segments of my clients on the website and try to make that first impression a really good first impression. I mean, start really way at the top of the funnel and then work down. I think that's something we're missing a lot nowadays.
Okay, so can you give us an example of how to make your website more relevant?
Well, I mean, there are plenty of very good web analytics tools out there. I mean, start with something really simple. Go into your keyword report or go into your referral report. See something that drives a lot of traffic and traffic that has a lot of bounce rate. Maybe somebody wrote a blog post about your company, or there's an article about something you did, and a lot of people are getting to your website and they're having an interaction with a certain page. Maybe that's not the best landing page. So, I mean, identify this information. Try to learn a little bit more about the customer or the prospect, what he's doing, what he or she is thinking before they get in the website, and then adapt your website for that. So I mean, just that first interaction, try to get an extra page view, try to get a little more time on site from that first page view from these, what you call these segments that are just leaving your website.
So Phillip, how do you see this industry going forward? What are the new things that we should be looking forward to?
I think that the biggest thing we can see now is better data, actionable data. Comscore just launched their web analytics tool during this conference, and they're bringing demographic data into the data mix, and I think that's very interesting. One of the things that really struck me was at yesterday's Best Buy session, in which it was a testing session in which they discussed their testing strategy within a company, and one of the statistics they said was that only about a third of the tests, a third of the hypothesis actually are better than the original. And that really struck me because if you just consider web analytics, if you consider just regular business analytics, and some manager goes up to the CEO or to the director and says, hey, I want to test something new, but I am sure that more than 2/3 of the times it's not going to work. Only less than a third of the time it's going to work. any business manager would say, no, let's not do that. Let's not try that. And that drives away innovation. With the web, with good data, with these capabilities of working in small segments, you can actually test the data and then find insights only a third of the time, but can really move the needle. So I got really excited is that we're in an industry where more than two-thirds of the time things might not go right, but if you get it to one-third right, you can actually create a proof of concept, test this, and really drive innovation. Maybe something unexpected, something that people would normally not do, but the web analytics platforms and way of thought allows us to do. I think that's going to be groundbreaking.
Yeah, that sounds really, really interesting. So we were talking earlier today about a new project, a very exciting new project that you're working on. Would you share with us what's? Sure.
As a fellow Brazilian, we although we're south of the border, we still do some interesting things down south. We've been rolling out BT buckets for 2.5 years now. We have thousands of sites and billions of requests, and this generated a lot of information for us. And we're actually pivoting the project, and we're going to create something which I think will definitely help a lot the optimization people. We're going to launch in the next few weeks. You're one of the first people to know about it. Siteapps.com, which is an online marketplace for applications for your website. And any developer, like the iTunes Store, can come in, develop something on HTML, JavaScript, and submit it, set their price. And it's a tag-based solution. So once a website has the tag, Siteapps tag, implemented on the site, they can deploy immediately a whole bunch of different applications without knowing extensive HTML and JavaScript or what have you. And we think this is going to be a good changer because a lot of the web analytics optimization challenges are in implementing change. I mean, getting a specific code that works on a website, submitting that code to the tech guys, the guys putting it up and understanding what's happening, being able to do this from a user-friendly interface without the need of the technical guys, I think can really offer a lot of websites start implementing change, understanding what it is necessary to create, to interact with different personas in different ways. So we're very excited about this too.
Cool. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Thank you, Philip.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you very much.